Hey friends. What's been showing up for me? I had a really fun day yesterday. A couple of great meetings, conversations. One creative meeting, some things otherwise not so much creative, but still very inspiring. And I was just reminded of a very simple principle that's operative always, which is that all of life is a kind of provocation for our consciousness to expand. And what that generally means in practice is that the universe will confront us with something that seems to threaten us in some existential way. We may not perceive it as a genuine existential life or death threat. Our mind may be able to say, this is not an existential threat to me. But maybe I can only speak from my own experience, but in my experience, there's always a level, there's always some part of myself that is unwilling or unable to accept certain things from the universe. And you might as well just name it. It's my ego, the part of me that is invested in defending the known, what I am now, what I think my identity is now, over continuous expansion into the unknown. And I don't know if I've said that clearly, but there's a part of us that there'll always be something in our life that we somehow can't accept. It could surface in any area of life. It could surface in our professional life. It could surface in our personal life, in our intimate life, in our parenting, if we have intense hobbies, it could surface there. Certainly if we're an artist or we do anything creative, it's going to surface there. It's likely to. And there'll be something about the nature of things. Maybe it's the relationships, maybe it's the team I'm with, maybe it's the project, something that I can't accept. It feels like there's something wrong. And the trick is accepting. The only trick is, that I've found anyway, is to come to peace with how things are. And when that happens, if we genuinely come to peace, because in some small way, coming to peace with a problem in our life is a little micro form of accepting the reality of death. Now that might sound kind of far-fetched or like a stretch as far as like connecting those two things, but I'm convinced that that's really what's happening. The reason we have a kind of low, often subconscious existential resistance to things in our life is because on some level we have not accepted our own mortality, our own impermanence. And so in some way this event or this circumstance or this person or this project is challenging our sense of identity, our sense of existence as our identity, and we don't want to let that happen. We want to defend it. We want to fight that back. And as long as we're doing that, we're in resistance to death. And I call it a trick. It's not really a trick. It's just settling into the wisdom of life. But I call it a trick because the effect of actually coming to peace with something like that is almost instantaneously we get to move. We get to move beyond it. Now, we have to genuinely do it. There has to be that. It has to be an actual existential practice. It can't just happen in the mind. We can't just tell ourselves we've accepted it or rationalize why our behavior clearly demonstrates that we've accepted it. We have to actually accept it. But once we do that, it's like what happens in that moment is we come into alignment with reality. We come into alignment with the universe as it is. We give up a portion of our erroneous attachment to a false identity and a certain kind of what we might perceive as death. If we looked deep enough, we'd perceive this letting go of this aspect of ourselves as a kind of death. But we've kind of gone. In that moment of acceptance, we go beyond that illusion. We accept the world as it is and ourselves as we are, and we get to go beyond the illusion of death. And usually the universe is like, okay, well then, you're free to go. Go seek out your next lesson. And I've had that experience over the last couple days, in a couple different ways. Coming to peace with certain things, letting things be as they are, letting certain circumstances that are really kind of optimal opportunities for me to go into resistance. I've kind of settled into them, and my life moves. I get these fantastic meetings, these inspiring conversations, these doors opening. So it's just a reminder. This is primarily a reminder for myself. I hope that it might also, maybe me kind of like talking through the mechanics of this, hopefully can be helpful for you, for others. But it's also a big reminder for me because it's a process I know well. But each new thing is each new thing is a new kind of identity, it's coming at us from a new portion of our psyche, and there's something new for us to let go of. So it's the same level of overwhelm every time. It's not like we deal with this once and then we're done. We deal with this anytime that any portion of ourselves is attached, and we have to reckon with it. So, just nice to be reminded. Anyway, that's where I am today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I will see you soon.